Hey, theme park fans and Disney stans, what if we told you that Epic Universe just opened and already they're beginning construction on new expansions? And what if we told you that Disney, who we were all told they knew they had a bold strategy to take on Epic Universe, well, now it looks like Epic will have expansions out the door before Disney does at Disney World. We'll explain right now. Hello, folks. It's a zippity-doo-dah kind of day here on the Pro Channel. And yes, we'll continue to say that because we're not afraid. No, we love it. Mr. Bluebird's on our shoulder, and the only way we can possibly go any higher than we already are is if you click that like button. Folks, we're aiming for a subscription from you. We're trying to earn it. We'll see what we can do. Let's get the video up right now. We've got it. And we've got a panel of excellence on the way. Here we go. Take a look at this out of Epic Universe. No, it's out of that park place, but it's about Epic Universe. And Marvin Montanaro is our author here. Epic Universe expansion begins as Project 915 permits reveal new construction plans. Now, this topic, if as we tackle it, you could say, well, this is just a little theme park edition. What does it matter? Why does it rise to the level of being its entire, thing? And that's because, folks, we're ready to bring you the news Disney does not want you to know. Get ready. Universal's Epic Universe may have just opened its gates, but that's not stopping the company from getting to work on its first major expansion. Just weeks after its grand debut, new permits filed with the Orange County confirm the arrival of something big that right now is simply called Project 915. Universal is not, I repeat, not slowing down. While Epic Universe has been quietly wrapping up final touches like landscaping, pathway refinements, and signage behind the scenes, Universal has also been busy filing a wave of new construction permits that signal imminent expansion. Among the most vague filings are entries simply marked as professional services, but two in particular stand out. Permits for something entirely new under the project name 915, and this is not a small upgrade to Epic Universe. In fact, this is describing a 40,000 square foot plus construction site, and it's going to be a big deal. Okay, why are we talking about this? Why does it matter? Well, folks, this is the reason. The Walt Disney Company has been telling you that they knew that Epic Universe was on the way, and they had their say with shareholders claiming, oh, we're prepared. We knew this all the time. We've got big stuff too. Disney has not even begun to build. They're too busy trying to find the time to destroy the stuff that you and I love. They're not even close to starting construction. We don't know when these monsters rides are going to appear or the land. We have no idea when the Cars attraction is going to be done. Villains Land? That's like the 2030s. Yet, Epic Universe, Universal Studios, the big thing that Disney is allegedly trying to answer, they're already expanding. This is already beginning. Disney's trying to answer phase 1 of Epic Universe. Phase 2 has already started. They're going to lap them. They're going to lap them. Vash, let me go to you. I've got some idea of what this is, and you might as well. I'm having to now be a little careful on what I say about this because I don't want to mislead anybody into thinking that my source has said too much. But there are two big properties that this could be, Vash. Walk us through what those two big properties might be.
The two big properties that are heavily rumored right now, and again, these have adjusted over time, but we've distilled them down the best we can. It's going to be either an expansion to the Super Mario Brothers aspect of Super Mario, the Super Mario Brothers, what is it, cut of the world of Super Nintendo world with Luigi's Mansion, or an entirely new world in which people can visit, that being the Legend of Zelda. In fact, we actually covered this on That Park Place back in May 21st, 2025, that is, with Ethan Becker, that from Theme Park Wizard here. He was actually able to find a notice of commencement all the way back then with the contractor listed as Falcon Attractions. You can actually see that right here, folks, this notice of commencement, and right down there, you'll see Falcon's Attractions LLC as the name of the contractor. what's very interesting about Falcon's attractions is that they produce a lot of interactive dark ride type experiences. You can kind of see that on their website right here. And they recently acquired Oceaneering Entertainment Systems. Who is Oceaneering Entertainment Systems? Well, those are the guys that created the Scoop vehicle for like the Adventures of Spider-Man, or even like the Beijing version of Jurassic World, and maybe some of those audio animatronics with it. So you do have some very big players being associated with notice of commencements or permit filings at the Epic Universe site in areas that are marked for expansion. If we look at the location of that specific permit, we can actually see that that's where this might actually take place. Now,
Let me show
on your
folks
screen
what
right
we're
now.
talking about. Vash, ladies and gentlemen, you might have to squint a bit, but we're going to show you where this is. If you look to the right, if you're taking a look at the screen right now, on the right side, you'll see Nintendo Land. And Nintendo Land features on the leftmost part of that area, the Mario section. Then as you move to the right, you can see that it kind of drops down a little bit, and that's the Donkey Kong Country. But you notice there's a lot of dirt up above the Mario area towards the entrance of Epic Universe. That is where, Vash, I believe the expansion is alleged to be happening. And there are two possibilities here, Vash. As you said, this could be an expansion of Nintendo. And if it is, we now believe that expansion would be Luigi's Mansion, which would solve one of the problems of the park, which is they need more interior rides. But there's another possibility that it could be Zelda. Now, if it is Luigi's Mansion, what that would mean is that Zelda is going to be a big expansion because Zelda's coming. Zelda would probably take up the area that you can see down below Nintendo. That's where that would have to go then. But I'm leaning still towards that being Zelda above the land. If you're looking at the picture, of course, this is inverted in terms of north and south and all of that. But Vash, that's what I'm thinking right now. I still think that this is going to be Zelda. Not 100% on this. It could be switched to Luigi. If it is switched to Luigi, then look out. But here's the thing. You know, Disney is trying to respond to what's on the screen right now. Disney has no answer for the fact that, and I'm going to put this out there, okay? I'm going to say this. I said this on the Patreon that came out before the show. I'm going to say it now. Folks, here's what you need to know in terms of Disney being panicked and shareholders, why they should be worried. Vash, I believe that the expansions, the phase 2 for Epic Universe, likely will release before Disney even gets their answer to phase 1 out. I believe Universal will finish their expansions to a brand new park before Disney finishes their expansions to old parks.
I'll tell you what else they'll finish before then. They'll finish the replacement for the roller coaster at the studios that's apparently going to be a Ghostbusters themed attraction.
I'm really looking forward to the Ghostbusters attraction, I'll tell you. Oh, and by the way, we need to give credit. Hold on just a second. We need to give credit. Go back just a second, if you would, Vash. Hold right there for just a minute. I was remiss. We missed out on the opportunity to say thank you to BioReconstruct for these images. I want to give that shout out. Folks, get out there and follow at BioReconstruct, the best in the business, bar none, at getting you overhead shots of the theme parks. Okay, now we can go ahead.
Absolutely. There's definitely evidence to suggest that that Nintendo, or I should say Universal, is leaning into Zelda specifically. You can see right here this video that I included in this montage, featuring the many merch items that they actually debuted with the opening of Epic Universe, featuring Zelda. And we know that this shop specifically right here, that's adjacent to the entrance to Super Nintendo World at Epic Universe, actually has a lot of Zelda iconography embedded within it. I believe we had Ron and Nolan take some video footage of that, and you might actually see this on screen right now. But I do think Universal really wants Zelda. I mean, they obviously it's a huge franchise. It is an expansive world that can be the place that to have its own kind of like adjacent land in a similar way that Donkey Kong Country provides right now. So I think they definitely want to go in that direction. The only issue, though, is that from what I'm hearing that there have been a number of different plans submitted utilizing The Legend of Zelda, and they keep getting rejected by Nintendo. Now, I don't know if that situation has changed recently, but that's what I keep hearing. So it's either going to be Luigi's Mansion, just because those ideas get approved first, or it's going to be something like The Legend of Zelda, which I think everybody is very heavily anticipating. And like you said, Pro, because of the pace at which Universal works, as opposed to Disney, that can stretch things out and so forth, and push capital expenditures to other quarters and so forth. There is a very good likelihood, a possibility, that we get something that expands on Epic Universe first before any of these announced $60 billion turbocharged expansions that we hear from Disney, like Monsters Inc. Land, for example, Piston Peak over there at Magic Kingdom, and so forth.
Can we go back to that overhead shot of the empty dirt? Because there's something else about this that's interesting. If you look at this shot, you see that square puddle in the foreground of it?
Yeah.
Until very recently, there was a big mobile office structure there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you knew that the first thing you were going to do after the park opened was take that out, would you put it in? It tells me that something has speeded up far beyond what was anticipated when that was done. Now, this piece originally on early drawings was labeled as a parade staging area, but that went away. And that's to give you an idea how big that piece is. The building within it, which is part of these new permits, is about the size of the large sound stages at the studios. It's like 30 some odd thousand square feet. So that definitely says indoor ride to me. And it definitely says it's something that they sort of hope they kind of sort of get to, but all of a sudden it's wham bam, because they're talking completions by December in some of those permits.
The permits are only listed to be in effect until December.
And so some of them are for the groundworks, but some of them say, what does it say? It says vertical construction or something like that. I read the permit. And so this thing is going up fast. It may be going up much faster than they originally anticipated whatever would happen on that ride. As I say, by virtue of the fact that that office complex was there and then disappeared. They're not letting the grass grow under their feet, as they say.
Like I said, I think that Epic Universe will have their expansions, which is amazing because they're brand new. I think they'll have them done before Disney has their expansions done, and they won't disrupt their brand new park while they do them. In fact, I think the park was designed so that they could do this, and they couldn't say this is how they're going to do it, because if they said, well, we're still working on a bunch of stuff, people wouldn't go. They would wait. They would want the full thing. But they're hitting this right out of the gate, immediate. We have no announcement yet as to what this is going to be, but I'll remind folks of this too, because some have said, well, it can't be Zelda because it's just not a big enough, area. And I would remind folks, verticality, and what you're looking at over there is another portal area where you could have a completely additional land, but it could be used for Zelda. This is the area that's under construction right now. Verticality. What we see in Nintendo world is, it's not that big of a space, except that there's multiple tiers of land to explore. They could do the same thing with Zelda if they wanted to. Yeah. And I'll put this out there. There is some space available if they want to get creative to have guests be moved to a show building that's off in the distance. So there are opportunities here. We'll pay attention to it. But Lauren, before we end this up, I'm just curious your thoughts on the idea that, Disney's trying to respond to phase 1 and Universal is already moving on to phase 2.
Well, Disney's mired, and so that doesn't really surprise me. They've just got bad news coming from every direction. I think, in my opinion, the smarter play for Universal would be to do Luigi's Mansion first, because it plays into the Super Mario stuff. People will come to see it, but you don't want to blow all your ammunition at first. You don't want to have your two major properties immediately out there. You want Zelda to be an event. You don't want to have the two big major Nintendo affiliated properties and then bring in what would be considered lesser properties. I think you want to have Luigi's Mansion would get people back into the park again to see the new thing, but Zelda would be like a whole new giant thing that would get everybody excited, just like the opening of the park. I would stagger them.
And one more thing, all of this is happening when we still have no idea really what's going to happen to the old Atlantis area at Islands of Adventure, which for years has been rumored to be the big Zelda expansion. Clearly, it isn't. So who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of Disney.
You can see right here that what Pro was actually mentioning before this park being set up for this. You can see right here, no one actually captured this kind of mystery gate at the edge of DK right there. And it's definitely been set up to allow for the expansion to either this specific portal, that being Super Nintendo World, or with different expansion opportunities featuring completely different IP away from Nintendo, like the big rumored Creature from the Black Lagoon attraction or boat ride that might be added to Dark Universe. So,
and none of these properties are as big as the really big expansion plot they haven't even dealt with yet. There is enough room for, whether it's Lord of the Rings or whether it's Hill Valley or whatever the hell it is, there's a big, huge piece on the other side before we're anywhere near close to, now what do? We got no space left.
Well, and what's going to be funny is, what would be funny is they start and suddenly, it's like a Metroid or a Star Fox in that spot that we've been talking about, because plans can change and they can say, you know what, we are winning so big right now, so bigly. We're going to put Zelda on that big giant plot. We're going to put, the sky's the limit. We're going to put something they didn't expect over here. We're going to change plans. We will see, folks, but I'll tell you this, Disney, part of their problem right now is the IP strength has shifted. What is Disney to do here? They're going with Cars as an answer to the biggest Nintendo properties. I'm sorry. Zelda's bigger than Cars, especially with boys and kids. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you put Rachel Zegler out there as Snow White. And now you're going to claim it's a big streaming success, but good luck putting, some sort of Snow White Zegler expansion anywhere in Disney World. This is the problem. Epic Universe has the modern stuff that people care about. They've got How to Train Your Dragon. They've got Toothless. You can meet Toothless. Disney, I don't think they want to meet Elio right now. So maybe hold off.
There you can see that big piece I was mentioning in that diagram.
Yep.
But there's one more thing. When you talked about transporting people even beyond to another spot, they're talking about acquiring all that other land from Lockheed or whoever it is. Remember, these are the people that linked the two Harry Potter worlds between the two parks with a park hopper ticket. So why couldn't there be a transportation system that is themed just to get you to yet another area outside of what we consider the limits of Epic Universe right now?
And I cannot wait. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, Vash, that's going to do it for us on this topic. But folks, we're going to watch it. We'll let you know what happens. Disney, unlikely at this point to get their expansions out before Epic Universe already has its first expansions finished. Amazing. Good night, game over, drive home safely. Folks, this video is done. But before we all head home, we only ask one thing. Folks, as you get ready to head on out, consider clicking that like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those pesky algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below and share your thoughts, for a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Waste not that beautiful personality of yours. And folks, we would say as you get ready to head out the door, that it has been an honor to spend time with you, an attitude of gratitude each and every time that you elect to join together with us. Breaking bread and breaking entertainment, well, the industry. No, we like entertainment. It's the industry that irks us sometimes. Well, it was a good time. We hope you had a good time. Folks, until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Jump into the water. Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun.
So I give them cannonball. Yeah!
Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio.
Arizona. Pineapple pizza, Hawaiian ice freeze, yeah.
What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.